If you've ever opened your bank app and felt that sinking feeling, wondering how your money vanished overnight, how you spent more than you intended, how your account seems to shrink faster than you can refill it, then this video is for you. I'm not here to judge, and I'm certainly not here to lecture. I've been there. I've watched money leave my account before I even realized it. I've promised myself, this month I'll be careful, only to watch the same patterns repeat, and over time, I began to realize something uncomfortable. It wasn't just me. It was the system, the environment, and, most importantly, the way my own mind had been manipulated without me even knowing it. Most people think overspending is a personal failure. They think it's a lack of discipline. They think budgeting apps or self-control can fix it. They think impulse buys are random, that debt creeps up slowly, almost by accident. But none of this is entirely true. Overspending isn't a mistake, it's a product of manipulation. It's your brain reacting exactly how it's been trained to react. Every notification, every ad, every color, every ding on your phone is designed to pull on your subconscious, to trigger a reaction, to make you feel that brief spark of happiness when you buy something you don't need. When I first realized this, I felt betrayed. How could I have been so easily controlled? I had always considered myself smart, responsible, careful, and yet, every month, I fell into the same traps, feeling guilty, ashamed, frustrated. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the emotions I tied to it, the relief of a temporary high, the illusion of control, the sense of identity when I bought the right things. And understanding that someone else had designed the very systems I trusted to exploit those emotions was infuriating. But this didn't start yesterday. The roots of this manipulation go back more than 100 years. In the early 1900s, Edward Bernays, Freud's nephew, began studying human desire and subconscious emotion, and he realized he could turn them into a weapon. He didn't just want people to buy products. He wanted them to buy emotions, to buy identity. He famously convinced thousands of women to smoke cigarettes under the guise of freedom and empowerment. That was the first lesson in modern consumer manipulation. We don't buy what we need. We buy what makes us feel seen, powerful, or part of something bigger. That's exactly why, even today, people buy luxury brands, subscription boxes, and the latest gadgets, even when they can't truly afford them. By the 1950s, this manipulation had evolved. Malls were being built as psychological playgrounds. It wasn't random that you spent hours wandering through endless stores, smelling cinnamon pretzels, hearing soft background music, seeing perfectly staged displays. There's a moment inside every store called the Gruen transfer, the moment when you walk in with a purpose and forget why you entered. I've experienced it myself countless times. I'd go in to buy one thing and leave with 5, feeling exhausted and confused, and telling myself, I wasn't thinking straight. But I was thinking straight. The store had been designed to hijack my brain. The next evolution was the credit card, and this is where things got even darker. Banks realized that the less money you have, the more profitable you are to them. Minimum payments, high interest, hidden fees, everything was designed not to help, but to keep you trapped. Your brain feels the pain of paying with cash. Just swipe a card, that pain disappears, and that's exactly what they wanted. I remember the first time I realized this. I had charged something small, felt no immediate loss, and then weeks later, the interest had grown into something I barely recognized. I felt foolish, but it wasn't entirely my fault. My brain had been tricked. Then came the digital age. This is where I really started to feel powerless. Apps, websites, social media, they all became laboratories for my emotions. Infinite scroll wasn't just convenient. It was addictive. Notifications weren't just alerts, they were designed to make me feel lonely if I ignored them, bored if I didn't click, inadequate if I didn't respond. TikTok hauls, flash sales, one-day-only offers, all of it exploited the exact moments I was most vulnerable. And I wasn't alone. Everyone I know feels it. We spend late at night, scrolling through endless recommendations, convincing ourselves it's just for fun, when in reality, it's our own stress, fear, and boredom being monetized. And here's the hardest part: emotional spending creates a loop. You spend to feel better. That highness is temporary, you feel guilty and you avoid checking your bank account. That avoidance creates more stress, and that stress triggers more spending. I've lived this loop for years, and every time, I felt like I was failing myself. But now, looking back, I understand it was never about failure, it was about survival in a system designed to exploit my emotions. Every purchase I didn't need, every impulse buy, every late fee, it wasn't just money lost. It was time, energy, and freedom I'd given away. I thought, it's just a little here and there, but over months and years, it adds up. The average person loses 7 years of potential savings to emotional spending, enough for a house, enough for retirement, enough to finally escape the cycle. And realizing that made me feel fear, not the fear of losing money, but the fear of lost opportunities, lost time and freedom. Looking at the future, I'm terrified for those who haven't woken up yet. AI shopping assistants are learning our emotional patterns. Soon, they'll predict what we want before we even consciously think about it. Ads will mimic our memories, our humor, our fears. Buy now, pay later services will know exactly when we're vulnerable, offering temptation at the precise moment our willpower is lowest. This isn't science fiction. It's already happening, and the stakes are higher than ever. But I've also learned that fear can be useful. It can be the spark that changes everything. Because understanding these manipulations gave me a choice: I could either continue being controlled, or I could fight back. And fighting back isn't about denying yourself every pleasure. It's about awareness. It's about reclaiming control over your emotions, your decisions, and your money. It's about recognizing the triggers before they hit, taking a step back, and asking, do I really need this, or am I being manipulated? I've started small. I track my spending honestly, not just with apps, but with self-reflection. I ask myself why I want something. Am I lonely? Bored, seeking a dopamine rush? Once I identify the emotion, I can pause. I can make a choice instead of being hijacked. And every month, it gets a little easier. The fear of losing money is still there, but it's now accompanied by empowerment. The fear of continuing the old patterns has replaced it. And here's what I want you to feel as I speak to you now: empathy, not shame. I'm telling you this because I've lived it. I've sat in your seat, staring at my bank account, wondering where everything went. I've felt the guilt, the regret, the shame. And I'm telling you, you're not weak. You're human. You've been trained, manipulated, and targeted. But once you understand the game, you can start to change it. You can start to reclaim your money, your time, and your peace of mind. Now that you know why you spend money you don't have, here's the real question: how do you take back control? How do you break the emotional loop, reclaim your decisions, and stop giving away your freedom to algorithms, banks, and corporations that thrive on your mistakes? Drop your thoughts on the comments section and hit that subscribe button, because in the next episode, I'll show you 5 psychological shields that can literally rewire your brain to resist manipulation, the exact strategies millionaires, entrepreneurs, and financially conscious people use every day. These aren't tricks, they're life-changing habits that protect your mind and your wallet. So take a moment, reflect, look at your spending habits, your emotions, and your triggers. Recognize the fear, the regret, and the guilt you feel. That's not just shame, it's awareness, and awareness is the first step toward freedom. You are not alone. I've been there, and together, step by step, we can fight the dark psychology behind spending money we don't have, and maybe, just maybe, we can finally reclaim control over our lives.